There it goes. Wouldn't mind testing it, let me know, Dan. Pardon me. Alright, back to another episode of Flight Noob. Still don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm getting better. Today we're flying from Miami to Nassau, which is should be really pretty. It's from Miami to the Bahamas, essentially. So it's mostly water. Looks like we're about sunset. So we make for a nice flight. Today we're flying a Cessna Citation, which is a business jet. So a little bit bigger than the last plane we flew, a little faster too, so thank God. I'll sit there forever just waiting. The most exciting thing about flying is going to be the takeoff and the landing. Everything in between is really boring. Ready to fly. Looks like it has us in the air already, which I don't do that, so I'm going to cancel out. Like I said, if most of the fun's taking off and landing, why take away half that? So we'll just reset this real quick. Alright, full map. Let's do Miami International. So departure. Nassau in the Bahamas. Arrival. Alright, let's do it. This game takes forever to load. I guess I nerd out about all the little specs and little buttons and switches on the cockpit. You know, it's kind of cool. There's so many, and that can be really intimidating, folks. There's so many buttons. There's buttons for days, essentially. And, itchy as shit. So, I'm going to take a look at our VFR map, so visual flight rules, and I want to see, you know, what orientation is with regards to the airport. So we got some traffic going on in the area. So it looks like we're going to be turning around and going eastbound. So we're going to enter a pattern that gets us eastbound. All right. And we're going to be pretty much saltwater, you know. The sun's about to set, so this should be pretty. And so I like to hide these flight yokes. I don't want to see those. You don't really need those. All the buttons are going to be on the dashboard here. So the first thing I like to do, well, the first thing you have to do, going to check our flaps. We're in takeoff mode. That'll give us just enough lift. I like to increase my panel lighting so I can see better. And also it's going to get dark soon, so I'm actually going to turn on the cabin lights. Look at that. So you can see a little bit better now. Parking brake is on. If we disengage it and re-engage it, we get a warning. It tells us it's on.
Oral warning, okay.
This button acknowledges warning, so there's a warning that's nagging you, and you don't really want to hear it or deal with it, or you know about it. You can just hit this button here and it'll take it away. So essentially everything's set up now for takeoff, but what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to set this plane off to take off on its own, outside of throttle control and yaw control, which is going to be your rudder axis, your left and right axis. I'm going to go ahead and come in here, and I'm going to turn on autopilot. And I'm going to turn on what's called vertical speed mode. Now you'll see here, you're going to see a little button, a little tick on the vertical speed indicator and the altitude and the altimeter. And we can use this little slider here. We can actually increase that vertical speed to about 2.5. So, 170 foot. I'm not really sure. It could be knots. I'm not 100% sure what that stands for. I'm still learning. Hey, it's called Flight Noob, all right? I'm not going to know everything. And I might even crash today. It's happened. We'll see. That'll make some entertainment. You guys actually might be entertained by that for once. So now that I have my vertical speed set, we have autopilot engaged. I can actually go ahead and set this predefined altitude. See this over here? Right there. Okay. I'm going to tell it what altitude to go to. Now we're not going to go that high because we're just going across the water here. It's only about a 27-minute journey. So I'm going to reckon 10,000 feet will be just fine. Now that will turn off our speed mode. So we got to come back over here and click it again. There's limitations to these systems. So now I'll make sure our speed mode is at, or vertical speed mode is at 2, so over 2, and we have a preset altitude. At flight, obviously, autopilot's still engaged. So essentially now all we need to do is just use our rudder axis, or our lateral axis here, and full throttle. It's a better view here. Disengage the parking brake. It'll burn your parking brakes up. That was a strange movement. Alright, so rule of thumb, you don't want to go too fast. The plane will eventually start taking off on its own. Look at that, very smooth. And look at this. Look, Mom, no hands, right? Because we've set a predefined vertical speed. All we need to do now is watch our speed because it will get too high really quickly.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, continue for east departure. I will contact you next
So
when you leave my airspace.
the throttle is not auto throttle in this model. Some models do auto throttle.
You are leaving my airspace.
This one does have the ability to kind of keep a speed steady, like it has a stability with the throttle, with its autopilot. But if you see the red line here, it will go too fast. And that warning you're hearing means we're getting a little bit high temperatures of the engines as well. So I'm going to throttle down. And you'll see the speed kind of level out. You see that? And that's the autopilot kind of keeping things in check for us. So it's not auto throttle per se, but it does give us some level of stability when it gets up in the air. And we're not doing anything. We're not touching anything because it's automatically set.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, please acknowledge.
Let's acknowledge. You see, he's getting mad at me.
Miami Tower Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra frequency change.
Frequency change essentially it says that we're no longer going to be talking to the tower. We can now tune into a different frequency. I guess I don't know if that's the case. Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, Flight Noob here. But they do that so they can clear up their. Oh yeah. Parking brake's not on. Idiots. So we're going to put our landing gear up. That's going to create drag. So I don't like to do flaps up and landing gear up at the same time. Now we can do flaps. And you'll see the plane pull back immediately. Because you're going to lose lift. So it'll nosedive slightly and it's going to gain speed. And you'll see we're getting close to the red. So I'm going to throttle down to avoid overspeed. Overspeed will put too much stress on the engine. See, we're going very fast. 295 knots is very quick. So I don't know why it's saying park brake. It's not on. That's going to be a glitch, but you can see right here, it's not on. And if I engage it, I get a warning. So we do have an air brake, which the speed brake isn't on there either. So I don't know what the hell it's complaining about. So now that we've kind of gotten some altitude and we've gotten our speed somewhat under control. Holy crap, we're still going way too fast. We're going to throttle down a bit. Let's get that speed under control before we do anything else. And we're going to keep ascending to our 10,000 foot ceiling, which is what we set. And it shouldn't exceed that, or if it does, there's actually a altitude hold mode here. And we can tell it to stay put at the altitude. And essentially, once we do that, it's hands off, and until the flight's concluded. So we're going to be turning this bird around here very shortly to go towards our heading. And this blue here represents the radio communications of Miami here. So if we want to tune back into him and talk to him again, we absolutely could. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm still very much new at this, and it doesn't represent real life really. But I mean, if you know these things here, then you got something going for you. So, but in real life, it's the feelings and the sounds and the noises and it's a different beast. You can't compare the real thing with the simulator, even if it is really accurate and does a great job. So now that we're getting to about our ceiling, it's going to start slowing down, and our speed is really good. I'm going to go ahead and turn on nav mode. Well, let's get our flight director going first. So flight director is going to give us a nice this little opaque line here will give us, it kind of gives us a predictive idea of what the plane's going to do. So you'll see this meter here is called the attitude meter. And the attitude meter shows your location with respect to the horizon. So if you ever can't see anything, like the sun right now is blinding us, you can look at that and you know you're not going to be going into a mountain, for example. And that ties into what's called TALS, or terrain awareness systems, which this one has, but not the best, honestly. All right, notice how it's stuck here, and our speed is leveling out. I'm actually going to throttle down a bit. And let's turn on what's called nav mode. Now watch what the plane does. Now I wouldn't, this is a pretty steep bank, but the plane is going to essentially put us on heading for the Bahamas, which is, Nassau is just down here, I think. So, and the plane's going to completely turn around on its own, because it's going to head towards that heading. It can get a little boring sometimes, because a lot of the stuff is done automatically. You're kind of a systems administrator of a plane. You're just telling the plane what to do. But sometimes it doesn't cooperate, so. Looks like we got some air traffic in the area. And this traffic is actually updated. It's live. It's live traffic. What's in real life is represented pretty well in the game. So we're going pretty quick. We want to go quick. We don't want to go slow. We want the time to go fast. You burn more fuel that way. But we're essentially heading right back to the airport. See if we can't get a sunset. Oh, sun's a little high in the sky. By the time we get to where we need to go, that'll be pretty nice sunset for us. I could actually come up here and I could speed things up for us. I can travel to the landing. No, I'm not even seeing. I'm not even seeing a visual marker. Pretty sure I selected. Yeah. Strange. It's not letting us. It's not letting us skip to the landing. All right. We don't really have much of a heading here. I wonder if that's turned off. And you see our airspeed is staying exactly where it needs to stay. Let's see here. Let's change the weather around. Let's see if we can't. Yeah, there we go. And it's live time, but you know, I want to see that right there. The systems on these planes is outrageous. And look at this. I mean, look at the airspeed, how stable it is. And look at our altimeter. It's right at 9,900 feet. I mean, it's really just stays there. It's crazy. So, you know, if you're actually piloting this thing, you can go have a beer if you're crazy. Or you can go have a sandwich or, you know, use the restroom. I wouldn't do that. I feel really nervous. You know, I'd be scared out of my damn mind, honestly. This is the easy part. The hard part's going to be the landing. And most aviation accidents happen in the first few minutes of takeoff and landing. That's really pretty. I tell you what, I wonder if we give this thing some crazy weather, if we can really test the autopilot on this thing and see what it can do. You know, if we crash in the game, hey, it's a game, who gives a shit, right? You have to realize you don't get to respawn. So we can really put it through its paces. Let's see here. Snow. Let's do it's not gonna snow in Miami. Storm. Holy crap, it got dark. Woo, look at that. Let's just give it some. That's wild. Look at that. Holy shit. And let's just get a cockpit view of this. Holy moly. I'd be scared out my mind if I was flying this thing. There's no visibility at all. Let's see if we can't turn the windshield wipers on. They have to be automatic in something like this. Electrical panel. Here's a tip. You know, these buttons look really freaky, and there's tons of them. Don't look at the buttons. You just look at the headings. Pressurization, climate control. You see, if you just ignore these knobs and buttons, it's not that bad. When I say that, I'm not going to be able to find the windshield wipers. Lights. What is this? Aileron trim. Oh, yeah, I have that programmed to my joystick, so I don't worry about that. I don't know where it's at. That's the problem. How do you find something in case of emergency if you have to have this handbook to tell you where things are at? But we're flying over the ocean, and we can't see. And the visibility of our windshield is really down. I'm trying to find what the icing I thought was down here, but the hell's the windshield wiper? Climate control. Ice protection. Wouldn't you put the damn windshield wiper with this? Wouldn't that make sense? That's what I would do if I was programming this thing. Shit, I don't know. Let's just de-ice it. Who cares? Turn on left wing. Engines. This is engine and tail de-icing. This isn't even windshield de-icing. I would be shitting cookies if I was flying this thing in these conditions and didn't know what button to hit. You just have to have like a shot of whiskey or something to even maintain yourself. Your nerves would be absolutely ridiculous. And this also, if it wasn't on autopilot, we would be jostling all over the damn place. This is all assistance stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's part of this. It's a whole learning experience. You know, we don't always know everything. You have to swallow your pride and be ready to be ignorant as hell, because that's what's going to happen. I'm determined to find our damn windshield wipers. Let's get some more light up here. Shit. Alright, we better find it now. This thing's lit up. Holy crap. Isn't that annoying? Someone turns the lights on. Remember driving at night, it's real dark, someone cranks up all the lights, you're just like, ah! Can't see shit. Flight director. Oh, it's already... I have the worst tunnel vision. I'm not going to be able to see shit. You know what? We'll just make the rain go away. How's that? Problem solved. In real life, you wouldn't be able to control the weather unless you're, you know, some sort of fucking god or something. Yeah, this is freaky shit. Freaky shit here. Weather. What's snow look like in Florida? Hell, it's 2020. Anything can happen, right? Snow. Holy shit. Now I would definitely need de-icing of the windows, which I embarrassingly don't know where it's at on this model plane. I just started flying it. Clear skies. Is it already this dark? Did we miss the sunset? Damn. Let's make it like noon. Alright, this shit gonna come off my windshield like... It's Florida and it's hot now. Game appears to have froze up. Not sure what's going on. There we go. Okay, that's right. It's not going to let us skip to, yeah, it's not letting us skip to, landing. I tell you what, we'll try something different then. We'll just close out. We'll do the same path again. This time we'll get down before we can land. Yeah, let's do Miami, departure, Nassau. Ah, you know what? That's because I didn't select the landing strip, so obviously we can't land arrival. All right, we'll do this again. This time we'll just skip right onto the landing part of it, because it takes, you know, no one will see the 20 minutes looking out the window listening to me yammer on about, you know, esoteric dorky shit no one cares about. What y'all want to see is me crash. I realize that. Or how about landing the Serengeti? Let's make this exciting. And that's the thing too. People think airline piloting is just this adventurous thing. It's not. It's extremely boring. You have a little bit of fun, and then it's followed by hours of sitting doing nothing between your thumbs and watching the systems. That's not fun. Ever talk to an airline pilot? They're awesome. They're intelligent as hell, and they're bored. They're very bored. You can tell in their eyes. Talk to them, they're just like, yeah. There's no enthusiasm at all. This is very much. It's like being a bus driver, essentially, in the air. It's not really you know, filled with adrenaline, and you don't want it to be. If you're a pilot, it's filled with adrenaline, you're doing it wrong. That's really the. So let's go ahead and set all this shit real quick. I'll probably screw something up and rush this. You never want to rush anything with planes. That's what gets people killed. Flaps, take off. Speed brake, 0. Parking brake still engaged. Autopilot. Vertical speed mode. Actually, we can't do speed. You have to get the altitude first. So, altitude, which I don't know why that's the case. But we'll go to 10,000. Don't rush flying, folks. Typically, we do checklists. We would get taxied to the gate. We would get pushed back. Ground crew, ground services, all that you can do in here. But that is some boring shit. Not going to do it. Not interested in it. So. All right, let's get our speed mode, vertical speed mode. Let's get that where we need to be. I'm not skipping taking off. I enjoy it. It's fun. You know, you feel like you're going to die every time you do it, but that's probably what makes it so fun. And it's good. Autopilot's engaged, our altitude set, and our vertical speed mode set. If I have missed something, you're going to find out very shortly, because, yeah. Alright, speed brake off, full throttle. Get back on the goddamn, get back in the air. I don't know what the hell that little jostling is. Maybe the system's being engaged. So, with takeoff and landing, you typically just want to deal with the yaw. So, you don't use ailerons for that. You want to use your left and right lateral axis. Because aileron turns the plane like this, and you can strike your wing on the ground. Take it off, you can actually do a tail strike. You can strike your ass on the ground if you get too high of an angle. Angle of attack, they call it. Yep, see that? We're already getting too fast and the engine's getting too hot. So autopilot in a Cessna Citation isn't the best thing in the world, but, you know, we're going to go ahead and skip right to the landing. There we go. Approach. And it's going to drop us in right at the damn landing strip with nothing set. And it's going to put us there really quickly. So we're going to have to hit like flaps, brakes, everything has to be right there, landing gear. So I got to be on top of that. Watch the plane jostle, because it's just, it slows you down so fast. Look, too fast. See this? Oh, this shit's. So we have to turn everything off. I'm going to disengage autopilot because a lot of planes have an ILS system that will actually allow you to do what's called instrument landing. But this plane is a very rudimentary ILS system, or if it does have one, it's not fully engaged because this game's still kind of new. Autopilot disengaged, landing gear down, flaps set to landing. Now watch this pitch up, because because flaps, you know, like a bird. It's like you ever see a bird put its wings and kind of cup them to give it lift that slows it down. Look at our speed. We dropped 50 knots on the speed. That's what it does. Essentially, what flaps are going to do. They're going to give you lift and slow you down to let you touch down easily. Without flaps, you'd have no lift. Therefore, you'd require a lot more speed to accomplish that same lift. And if you slowed down enough to land on the runway without blowing your tires out, for example, because your tires do have a tolerance level, then you'd be in a world of hurt. You'd be going too fast, which means you need more runway. And you know, knowing your runway distance is very important. Not every runway is the same. Some are very narrow, and you have to apply max brakes and even reverse thrust. Reverse thrust can help in certain situations. If you ever land and you feel your spleen fly up into your throat, it's probably because they've used reverse thrust. Yes!
Cleared to land runway 28 Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra.
So we watch our speed. When we had this flaps up like this, you know, we could easily get stall speed. But then again, you don't want to get too fast, because you can damage your tires, and it also puts increased wear and tear on your brakes. And all that in this game is calculated. I can set load plans. We're not really following a flight plan. It's a simple heading. There's no multiple legs or anything. You could set load and balancing. I can make this plane like it's got full load of passengers on it, and a full tanks of fuel, and I've done that. Doesn't fly that much different, but all those things are in consideration. So Okay, from here on out, we want to use our yaw axis. Try not to use aileron string. It keeps the plane nice and straight, but it still gives you level of control. So we're going to try this. So ILS, right? Insert landing gear. You'll see these stacks of antennas at the runway, right before a runway. And the plane can communicate with those antennas, and those antennas will tell the plane exactly how to land on that runway. And that's really good for fog, snow, reduced visibility, or situations where you're required to use what's called IFR, or instrument flight rules. You can't rely on what's called VFR, or visual flight rules, which is self-explanatory. This is called the flare. We're going to pitch up on our nose, and then gently, boom. And it just crashed. You collided with an object and caused critical damage to the aircraft. I don't know about you, but that's the runway it told me to take, and we did a really smooth landing. Okay, I'm pretty sure we're likely to have been just fine. Maybe the brakes were stuck. Maybe that's why we had that air message the entire time. Yeah, okay. I don't really understand that. Maybe I screwed something up. This is Flight Noob after all, so. Yeah. If anybody that's watching this, if anybody's watching this at all, please tell me what I did wrong. I want to know. I thought that was an excellently smooth landing. Our speed was reasonable, and it is what it is, so. Well, I tell you what, that's enough jargon today. Listening to me drone on about this. You know, not a very long stream, but let's be honest. Most of this is going to be spent either me trying to find creative ways to be stupid, which you shouldn't do in airplanes, or flying at cruise altitude where all there is to do is twiddle your thumbs. So, I'd like to know what happened in my runway, or my approach and my landing. I thought it was fantastic. So I'm going to practice that some more and see if I can't reproduce that problem. It's most likely a game glitch, a bug. This game is kind of riddled with them right now. So, hey, thanks for watching.